very good slide. The answer in this condition, which I'm not going to show that one, but that's rosacea, keratosis pilaris, which is on the back of the arms and thighs. So that's the least likely to be a different location. But the answer in this one is A. Not that very good, not a very good question. That's a good question. You're going to see a lot of these lesions, and you're going to be a little bit nervous for your patient. If you're not sure, they don't know how long you've been there, best refer them out. This is an atypical nevi, or sometimes referred to as dysplastic nevi. So, but the comment here is 5% of the population, 1 out of 20 people have multiple aplastic or dysplastic or atypical nevi. And so these have a higher percentage of going to melanoma, but right now it's totally benign. The only way you know if it changes is if you track it with a picture that says it's growing or changing. That's the atypical appearance, asymmetry, irregular border, shades of color sometimes. The size is less than a razor head. It's usually 3 to 15 millimeters in size, so it's usually very small, but you can have multiple on the body. And the more you have, the higher risk of melanoma. This one has the term, exclamation point hairs, classical for alopecia areata. Remember that name? You can have these in the armpit and the groin, hydradentitis suppurativa. So it's painful, swollen, inflamed sweat glands. Hydradentitis suppurativa. We just saw that one today. These are the soft type of seborrheic keratosis. Seborrheic keratosis. These are the black horn cysts. These little things here. The white horn cysts are not present. You can't see them in this one. So that one. It's a chicken bath. It's a lipoma. Big lipoma. Another example of the vitiligo, I think we've seen something. This one has more of the therapies involved with it. Sunscreen, because this is exposed to the sun, there's no protection from UV radiation. So sunscreen is important, or very tight clothing or hat. But oral topical medications, there's plant extract, oral or topical, soylent, and plus UV therapy will help pigment those regions. There's the scaly, itchy lesion between the webs of the fingers. The clue here is that it lasts for 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, it clears. You start with deep-seated vesicles. This is pump floss, or just hydraulic eczema. Pump floss. These are all characteristics of what condition. This is a pretty classical appearance of a nodular basal cell cancer. The characteristics are pearly, translucent, stretched. When stretched, it's even more translucent, see-through. When stretched, they can have little blood vessels, half-capsular blood vessels going through them, and it's slowly growing. Maybe 6 months time, it doubles in size on the bottom. Basal cell cancer. We've seen this picture before. This one talks about being a chronic rash. Remember having a rash. This can come and go throughout life. They start picturing a rash, and they go, oh yeah, as a child, I remember having rash on my arms, typical floss in the back of my knees. And that's how you help figure it out. Goes, oh yeah, I did have a rash on my arm. It went away. Stress, lifestyle changes, make it come back again. Atopic dermatitis. This is someone's elbow. What lesions show up on the elbow? Psoriasis. So psoriasis, salmon color underneath, and thick, scaly, silvery plaque above. And then they pick at the spot. What's it called when they pick at that spot and it bleeds? Hopspitz sign. Hopspitz sign. So you pick at a little itchy psoriasis and it makes a little bloody patch. Pinpoint bleeding. This person has psoriasis as well. The salmon color face, on the elbows, hyperproliferation of skin disorder, genetically predisposed people. So that's psoriasis. You have to remember what wicked striae is for to get this one. That's one of the characteristics of lichen planus. So lichen planus, one of the ones that has the 5 Ps, the paretic, planar, flat, polygonal, and papillars, purple papillars. Patterns, again. This tends to be just one of the locations. This is lichen sclerosis chronicus. It has these different locations. A couple examples of people with sun exposure leading to a reaction polymorphous like eruption. These are some therapies that could be helpful. Not real clear here, but this basically looks like dry, scaly type skin on the back of the hand. There's a spot. The clue here is the premalignant again. What condition is only one we talked about, the premalignant, and then 1 out of 1,000 annually turn into squamous cell, or 10% of our lifetime. It's actinic keratosis, sun damaged skin. There's the top 7 locations. Typically only one of them would be on the groin, on the shin. Another example, potential slides for lichen sclerosis chronicus. So this test will have probably most of the conditions, maybe sometimes even more than one time when we ask that same condition by a different slide. More information, lichen sclerosis chronicus in this case. So look at that case of seborrheic dermatitis. So there's no itchiness with this, or relatively no itchiness. It's not fungus, so it's negative KOH. It's not ANA, which you haven't learned yet, but that's an antigen antibody, or SLE. So it's not lupus, so it's seborrheic dermatitis. This is a tough one. It's often missed by a lot of physicians because it seems resistant to a lot of therapies. But these coin-shaped lesions that are itchy, they're chronic. You scrape them, there's a negative KOH, negative culture, nothing grows on them. Comes back with a lab histology, comes back with a spongiosis characteristic. These are nummular dermatitis. Nummular means Latin for coin-shaped lesions. There's a single picture in the back of the bumps, the back of the arms. So this is an example of keratosis pilaris. It's a minor feature of atopic dermatitis. It's an example of one that's been there probably a good year, growing slowly, basal cell cancer. So it has a blood vessel going through it, shiny pearly appearance. If you stretch it, it's translucent. We'll do it here. I'll up the speed a little bit. Two happening ones, the blues are, they're 6 decade of life, no radial growth, nor metastasis. Those are the worst prognosis. This is another example of nodular melanoma. Around the back face here, perioral dermatitis. Possible triggers, the soap itself or fluoride toothpaste could be triggers. Example, someone with multiple, but it says benign lesions. Multiple benign lesions have a dry, crusty looking appearance. These are all examples of seborrheic keratosis with the rough types. This is someone who has iritis, or they could have eye problems. Iritis, scleritis, chalazion. This is associated with what condition? One condition that has this is rosacea. Not half people with rosacea, at some point having some kind of inflammation on the eye as well. It's associated with rosacea. One spot being itchy in particular, chronic scratch rash cycle, lichen sclerosis chronicus, more common location, more in postmenopausal women. The negative KOH means they screened it for fungus. Psoriasis, hyperproliferative skin disorder. Genetically, worldwide average is about 2% of the population. In the States, it's about 5%. Example of polymorphous light eruption. So the delay of no reactive to UV radiation. A couple examples of someone that has psoriasis. It's the nail bed manifestation. It could be a dimple indentation of the nail because of the rapidly growing nail bed and changes in growth rates, or oil drop sign. Both characteristics seen in people with psoriasis. So a kid, pubertal blossom, in real common location, kids doing active pressure, trying to suppress the itch, it's got all over his face, atopic dermatitis. So the family history would be something like asthma. There's about half the kids that are getting asthma if it's not properly treated. Allergic rhinitis, hay fever, or eczema in the family as well. There's a single picture of oven cleaners. It's irritant contact dermatitis. There's another single picture of a baby with around the face. They don't start getting it until they start getting food introduction. Sometimes parents introduce food a little too